welcome to the Women's Business Society podcast, where you can listen to the experts while I pick their brains for hot tips and tricks to help grow your business. Thank you to our major sponsor, Book It Bookkeeping, and a shout out to all our members, with a special mention to So Beautiful, who provides all the gifts at our WBS networking events. Hello everybody and welcome. Today I'm joined by Katarina from SGP Consulting. Welcome, Katarina. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Now we have everything sorted. We had lots of fun setting up this call, but we didn't stop. We kept going.
We did, with assistance from others as well.
Yes, exactly, which we all know that is the secret to a successful business. So Today we're going to be talking about tips for growing your business, and you are definitely the expert in this field. But before we get into all that juicy stuff, I want you to tell us about Katarina, who you are, why you started your business, and what your business is. So take it away.
Definitely. Okay. So my name's Katarina Nave, and my company is SGP Consulting, and SGP actually stands for Sustainable Growth and Profit. I'm actually a business consultant and coach, and it's something that I started back in 2015 alongside my business partner, whose name is Lindley Baxter. Now, originally we were both working in the utilities industry. I did that for about 15 years, and the most recent role that I had was General Manager Operations and Strategy. And under our leadership, my business partner, actually, he was a CEO at the time. And under our leadership, the company grew from a $7 million business through to a $90 million company before being sold in 2005 to Spotless Group, which most people have heard about. So over the years, having worked in the utilities industry, I, implemented high performance growth and improvement strategies. I learned a lot of systems, processes, and principles really that help big businesses become bigger. So now I'm actually just doing that, but helping business owners do the same. I work with all people, I guess, across all industries. So it includes coaches, creatives, corporates, and entrepreneurs. And I think the difference with me, unlike some other sort of business coaches or consultants, is I'm really focused on small steps. I work, a lot of people laugh because I often say that I work in stages, but it's really just about working, towards your goal, but breaking them down into small steps, which will ultimately lead to that huge change.
What do you love most about what you do? Like, what's that part of your business that just gets you really excited?
The part that really gets me excited is just working with everyday people who have got a real passion. A lot of people that I work with are so passionate about, I guess, the product or the service that they offer their clients. Mm-hmm. And I love just working with them and seeing them go through that growth journey. Yeah. And that's really one of the reasons I went into a business partnership, because it's something that we had previously done, for a large corporate. And we sort of both said to ourselves, we're so passionate about the delivery element. And, why not get out there and help other business owners do the same thing? Yeah. And ultimately helping more than one, rather than just investing our time and efforts into the one business. We're really passionate about just doing it for multiple people and multiple businesses.
Fantastic. So to share just how great you are at what you do, can you share some success stories of some of the clients that you've worked with? So any sort of standout ones that you can think of?
Yeah, definitely. I've had probably the one that stands. I'm just trying to think how much I can actually give away, because a lot of it's quite confidential.
Yeah,
obviously.
No, definitely.
But I've had some clients who have ultimately doubled or tripled their revenue and their income over a short period of 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting just to see, once an individual really starts to focus and make themselves accountable, and following some suggestions and recommendations how they can really do that.
Yeah.
I've had people go from sort of on retail sort of storefronts to online businesses as well, which are booming and have sort of gone international. So there's a few different success stories, and because I guess the industries, I cover all industries. You know, I work with people who are, I guess, in retail. I've got people who sell knives. I've got people create and sell knives. I've got people who are project managers, literally covering everything. So, you know, each of their success is quite different, whether it being sort of going nationally or internationally. So, yeah, it's really exciting just to see them reach their goals and really reach their dream life.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love talking to women that are really passionate about what they do, because I think that gives, you know, whoever they work with, that is giving them success because you're passionate about what you do. And that means you are, you know, ahead of the game regards to industry standards and things that, you know, knowledge, and you can pass that on to the people that you work with.
Definitely.
So that's really important. So I know everyone would love for us to dive into our topic today. So tips for growing your business. It's something that is probably the most on Google. I think that's something that probably people have. Market your business, grow your business. I mean, we're all, you know, need to feed our families and make money. So we need to grow our business. As much as passion is great, it's all about, you know, it's about growing and making sure that you can continue to do what you love. So take it away, Katarina. Let us know.
Okay, so it's obvious. Yeah, it's obviously, you know, there's so many tips, I guess, that I can give in terms of growing your business. But what I've decided to do is just narrow it down to 5 tips.
Yeah.
And the first one that I always start with any of my clients is just having the right mindset, and adopting a mindset of growth. It's really, really crucial. So many times when I meet with people, they have this, you know, they have this idea and they've got a vision in their head, and, you know, they know that that's what they want to do, but they don't necessarily truly believe it, and have that mindset that they'll succeed in their growth.
Yeah.
So, you know, one of the things that I often say to people that if you really truly want to grow in your business, you really need to be, you know, living that. You need to be thinking like you've already grown. You need to be
100%.
feeling it.
100%.
Yeah, it's really crucial. And it's quite funny because it's something that often a lot of people don't even think about until I actually start talking to them about it.
Yeah.
And then later on, they'll sort of start highlighting to me now, you know, they'll mention things like, now I actually understand why we started with the whole mindset side of things, because it's definitely crucial.
And some people don't want to even know that the two are connected until, I mean, from what I've seen, experiences, people often come when their mindset is what caused a problem in business. And they go, oh, hold on a minute. It wasn't because, you know, I didn't add up my numbers properly. You know, it was something to do with the way that I thought about myself or my feelings towards my business, or, you know, blocks and fears and all those things. You didn't take the opportunity because of that. They're like, oh, hold on a minute. You know, I don't need to learn more about finance. I need to learn more about me and how I operate as a business owner. So it's quite an enlightening moment when that happens to a business owner, because then you can really work with them, can't you, when they're open to that?
Yes, definitely. And I think one of the key things is that people don't realize, you know, how strong the mind actually is.
Yeah.
You know, and I often use examples, you know, like, you know, if let's just talk about wealth as an example. It's quite interesting to know that when your mind starts thinking wealthy thoughts, you're likely going to attract, you know, the financial abundance, I guess, that you're looking for. But if you want that wealth, but you're not truly feeling it, and you're feeling poor and, you know, frustrated and overwhelmed, well, that's actually what you're going to attract. And it's something that people don't actually realize until they've experienced it themselves, and that they can put the finger on it.
Yeah.
So it's quite it's sometimes a difficult topic, because I'll often open up with, you know, I don't want you to think that we're now talking about fairies and dreams and so forth. But
yeah,
it's really an important matter that people must have that right mindset in order for their business to grow. And it's something even, Tony Robbins, we all know Tony Robbins, life coach and author.
yeah.
He often says that success is 80% psychology and only 20% strategy. And I'm a true believer in that because I've seen it, with my own eyes time and time again.
Absolutely. And people are quite afraid of the topic personal development. It's always hard to work on yourself when you can constantly sit there and point the finger at everybody else. That is so much easier than saying I am. And we try to teach our kids responsibility for their actions. And if you're not sort of taught that, you can grow up as an adult still pointing that finger and not taking responsibility and say, look, I didn't take the opportunity, or I was screwed at that because of it was my fault. And that's a big thing. I'm not, everything's a blame game, but it's taking responsibility. And I think, when you are in business and there is, fear there, you don't put your hand up for opportunities. And I think opportunities lead to something new. I see this over and over again in WBS, the women that really sort of hide, they're the ones that are struggling in business the most. Ones you just don't see. And then eventually their confidence improves and you see them putting their hand up. I've seen women going from, not being able to attend, but they're a member, to then attending, to then getting up and speaking, to then wanting to host. And it happens within 6 months because the mindset, once it starts, it's like this, it just keeps churning and churning. And then all of a sudden they've just bloomed. But that wasn't because they learned a new marketing strategy. That's because they learned how to believe in themselves and step out. And the thing is, you don't, I think The Secret and all those sorts of things gave personal development a bad reputation. But I love The Secret, but it is about action. It starts with the mindset and getting that sort of right. And it's going to be challenged every day. We know that every day it's going to be challenged. And it's opening up. It's being vulnerable to realizing that your business is up to you and you are its leader. And you need to be a good leader and you're going to be learning. And anyway, you keep going. 100%. I could keep going. This is what I've studied. This is what I'm passionate about. Tony Robbins, his mentor, Jim Rohn. These guys are just amazing. But it starts with us. It always starts with us.
Definitely. But it's funny because everything you've just raised really goes into my second, my second tip on growing your business. And it's about embracing change. Because that is the most important part of ensuring that your business isn't held back. Because what I often find is that the one thing that's normally holding a business back is the actual business owner. It's the individual.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's mainly because they're resisting change, and they don't realize the impact that it's having on their business. And a lot of the time, they're resisting change because of that fear aspect.
Yeah.
The unknown, everyone's a little bit afraid of the unknown, or, what will people think of me, or what will people say about me? And one of the things I very, very often, talk to my clients about is the fear of actually not doing anything and not achieving anything as a result. Because I know even for myself personally, starting my business, that was really putting myself into a situation that I'd never faced before. And I know quite often, a lot of people who have worked in the corporate world before and then start their own business, it's a very different environment and you have to learn along the way. But if I didn't even put myself out there, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today. And that's often what I share with my clients. So,
but it's belief, isn't it? It goes back to belief. Definitely. Is that when you believe in yourself, and I've copped it as an entrepreneur for 13, 14 years, whatever it's been now, where people didn't understand what I was doing, didn't understand my goal. And you have to, that own voice in your head saying, but and other people will know when they're the right people, the right clients, not your grandmother, not your uncle. Those are the people that don't, you can't listen to them. Your industry. And as long as, the goal is how can I solve problems and what impact do I want to have? If it is truly is something that you can make a difference, then you have to believe in yourself and you just have to keep going. And that's often tricky if you don't fully believe in yourself, you won't fully believe in your mission and what you're trying to achieve.
Right. That's right. And, I just think it's so critical that people do step outside of their comfort zone.
Absolutely.
because that's where they will get the most opportunities. That's where, you know, those opportunities will come knocking on the door when they least expect it.
Yeah.
But what I often say to people with change and embracing change, you know, back to my little stages or my steps, you know, just small incremental changes is all it takes. Because if you can do something, and like you mentioned before about people coming along to a WBS and then potentially speaking and so forth, it's those small incremental changes that will actually add up to a big change. And it's that big change that's really going to grow their business.
Yep, absolutely. It's always just one step forward and then another step forward. And, you know, if you fall, put a Band-Aid on, don't let it doesn't need to heal. Just get back up, another step forward. And eventually you finish, you know, you get close to that race and then you realize you can start another race, you know, even more challenging. But it's just one. And I think, you know, that's where there is a difference in people that succeed and don't succeed, because some people will give up too quickly in the race and feel like they need to stop for a glass of water and never get back, you know, never get the strength back.
Yeah, and I think what's important to note there is if you do happen to fall over, just take the learnings from that and, you know, implement potentially different strategies or different ways of, you know, whether it's within the operations of your business or the particular product or a service that you're offering. That's what's really important, because you will, you know, we all will make mistakes along the way. We all will embrace a change that won't necessarily work for us, but we just have to accept that we'll learn from that and we'll actually grow from that as well. You know, I always say to people, whether it's good or whether it's bad, you're still actually going to grow from it. You're going to learn from it. So don't be fearful of it.
Exactly. And that can also be a sign that change needs to happen. You know, if you're sort of in that race and you're falling over and things aren't the way that you know, that you planned or wanted it to go, or you're not making the money, that's where change might need to happen. So you can't keep running that race and, you know, and just getting tired. You never finish it. That's when you need to adjust, you know, your training schedule, you know, just using metaphors there. But yeah, I mean, change is happening all around us. So if you're not adopting those changes to technology, you know, to marketing strategies and social media strategies and, you know, all those sorts of things, if you're not adopting those changes, you will become a bit stale, I think. That's just, I mean, that's what happens. So many businesses fail because, you know, they couldn't keep up with, you know, getting a new website with a new design and UX experience, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
But yeah, it's a tricky one. You can only do what you can do and run your own race at the end of the day.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So then the next one, so number 3, my third tip, I guess, for growing your business is, it's a really simple one, but it's something that I'm finding so many business owners just aren't doing, or they're not doing it well. And it's really just about setting long-term vision and goals. So something that I do with a lot of my clients, the first thing I'll ask them, you know, what's your vision? And they'll talk me through it. And I'll be like, okay, so where is it? Where can I see it? Show me. And they're like, no, it's all circling around in my head. And I just think, no, that is not going to work, because 1 out of the 10 great ideas that you've got circling around in your head, you're probably going to forget 3 of them by the end of the week. So one thing that I highly recommend is that people take time out from working in their business and actually work on the business. Now, I know that's something we've all heard time and time again, but it is really essential in your business growth.
Yeah.
Because once you've got your outcome that you want to achieve in your head, it's so important to write it down. So pretty much get, you know, pen to paper, write it down. And what I say to people is, write down your vision for the next 3 years, but don't just give me a, you know, a statement or a wish list.
Yeah.
Be more specific in areas such as, you know, what you want your growth to look like. What does that mean from a revenue and profit perspective? Yeah. What does it actually mean from a people perspective? So in other words, you know, do you want a team of people around you working with you? And what does that number of people look like? What are your products and services that you're going to offer? Will you vary them over the 3-year period? Really get down to specifics. And I often say to people, use metrics, because then what we can do, whether it's in 6 months' time or 12 months' time, we can then measure that, and we'll get to that as one of the tips for growing your business, the importance of measuring your success. So once we've done some visioning, I then just make sure that people are looking back at key learnings and looking at the lessons from the past. So it's quite funny, because what I find is often people go straight back to, I guess, the negative or the bad lessons that they've had in their business. But I always suggest to my clients to also look at what's actually worked well in their business. So, looking at what's worked in the past so that we can potentially either repeat it exactly in the same fashion, or, tweak it a little bit and change or mix things up a bit into the future. So it's so important to, set that 3-year vision, but then from there, set yourself a specific goal for the next 12 months and making sure that it's clear and that it's a measurable goal.
Yeah. So what's your vision for your business for the next 3 years?
My vision, well, interesting. So ultimately, I want to do just a lot more of what I'm doing. So a lot more of my one-on-one coaching, and I'm doing group coaching now as well.
I've seen that come up, advertising that, and it seems to be very, very, very popular. So it looks like a lot of people who've attended, your events before have walked away, with some really good strategies because they're talking about it and telling others. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. So there's a lot of people that are, I guess they're at that point where they just need, I guess some processes, some tools to actually just help them along their journey.
Yeah.
So I really want to do more of what I'm doing, but I'd love to, my ultimate vision is to then have a team of a couple of people around me as well. Obviously I've got my business partner, but we're at different ends of the spectrum. I guess he's looking at retirement in the future, and I'm looking at really just, creating a business that I can have, which I'd love to have for the rest of my working career. So I'd love to have some people working with me, who are consulting, coaching, and potentially even introduce some sort of, some training elements to what I'm doing as well.
Yeah. Fantastic. Great answer. Look forward to watching you over the next 3 years. It's very, I think it's very liberating. It's very important to have those goals. I think it's like when you book a holiday and the holiday is coming, and that means you have, you've put it on your credit card. So you've got, you've got a certain amount of time that you need to pay off that credit card because you've got a deadline. You have to book this, you have to do this, and it's something to look forward to. So I think creating goals is not just because that's what you have to do. It's actually for the brain to know this is what we're working towards. This is what you've got to look forward to. And these are the things that you need to do. You're going to need maybe 2,000 for a website because by this date, you want to launch a website. So being as detailed as you can allows you to save that money, get more clients, grow your business, get more, do you know what I mean? It gives you a plan.
100%.
And the thing is, it's, always, it's just like a holiday. It's something so beautiful to look forward to, but you have to know where you're going. You have to book your tickets. You got to get the dog looked after, the kids looked after. Otherwise, you'll never plan the holiday and you'll never go because you haven't yet made a decision of, where you want to go in life, where you want to go on a trip. So,
and it's quite interesting you use that example because people often don't realize that ultimately running your business is so similar to running your personal life.
Yes.
You plan for so many things in our personal lives. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm definitely plan, set your goals, write them down, but it doesn't mean that they're locked in concrete. It doesn't mean that they have to remain, and they shouldn't remain, because you could get an opportunity that does knock on your door, and it could give you, just that opportunity again, I guess, to change your overall vision, to change your overall goals. So that's why it's really critical to, yes, implement your plan and implement your goals, but be open to changing those throughout your journey.
Absolutely. I mean, you think you're going to go to America to see, New York, but you decide you want to go somewhere else because, you heard that maybe that's not the best place to go in September. I mean, it's having an idea about
Yes.
where you want to, and the thing, especially 3-year plan, you're going to change, just like in a marriage or your personal life. I mean, you change your circle of friends, don't you? Sometimes people change husbands. I mean, people grow. People change and they grow. And, today this is the color that you like as your logo, and you just go with that. But maybe in a year you don't want yellow anymore. You want purple. So you can change that. That's not a problem. But I always think, and I always tell people, just start. You figure that stuff out along the way. As long as you're solving problems, all that other stuff doesn't it doesn't matter, but as long as you have a goal and you have set points within that, so your brain has something to look forward to. And and deadlines are major things, aren't they? Like, if you've got a deadline by Friday, I'm going to send that blog post. It's telling your brain by Friday, no matter what, even if the child throws up, you end up in emergency, whatever happens around you, you're going to somehow still get that blog post out on a Friday.
Yes,
if you say, I'm going to write a blog post this month, your brain's like, oh, okay, so we've got 28 days left. Worry about that one.
Yeah, no, you definitely need deadlines. And that goes to my fourth point is, once you've set your vision and your goals and so forth, you actually need to narrow it down to specific strategies and actions for your overall. Okay. Yeah. But what I tell people to do first is to really look at areas of their business where they potentially see some gaps. So they've got their vision, 3-year vision. They've then got their 12-month sort of goals. But then they need to break that down and be realistic and say, all right, what does my business look like now? And in order for me to take it where I want it to go, where are the gaps in my business? A simple thing that I often get people to do is just look at the gaps in their marketing activities. And the reason I tend to do that is because of the hype, I guess, around, social media activities and online strategies and so forth. So it's a really good way. Looking at your gaps will really bring out those key areas that you should focus on first in terms of being able to achieve your growth. And what I then do is I say to people, let's break it down into what I call a 1-page plan, so that we can break it down into smaller steps, so we're not then overwhelmed. Because a lot of the time what people do is they see this 12-month goal and they go, oh my God, how am I going to achieve this? And they fall into that overwhelm situation.
Yeah, because there's minute tasks within a day. There's those because there's a lot of things I post on social media, because you're also a coach, you get really what I'm saying. So, you respond with, you get that, understand that, because like we're talking about the list and writing a list.
Yes.
I mean, yesterday I was really struggling. I've got this big goal, but there's 20,000 things to do to get to that one goal. Even if it's only 2 weeks away, but there is so much to do. So I just sit there and my brain wants to stop me. It's like, it's just really struggling. Like, just write it down, and then I have to keep looking at that one task, and it's just putting, whether it's a banner together, but my brain wants to go do all these other things, but I can't do the next step unless I get that banner done. So I keep looking, banner, and I do like the next bit, do banner. I just have to keep going back to that list because it wants to go, step 50 and be there already. So it's fighting against yourself sometimes, of sticking to, these are the 5 things I have to get done today to get to the next day. And
100%.
It's as simple as that.
And what I always recommend is the list. Write down every single element, every single action, no matter how minor it is. Because you want to know that you're working through it in the right order, that you're not missing anything along the way, and that you're not potentially just jumping to the next thing and missed a major action that you should have completed. So many of my clients struggle with this because they're so excited and they see that they're, getting towards their end goal. And I sometimes have to just slow them down and bring them back to reality and say, no, we have to do these steps first, because otherwise it won't be successful and it won't be sustainable. So it's really important that you then, break it down into, I often say to people, whether it's weekly or fortnightly, list your top 3 strategies, put actions against each of those strategies, and work through it and revisit it again. So whether it's weekly and fortnightly. And I find that once you get into that habit, it just becomes second nature. You know, you end up doing it with everything, even in your personal life.
Absolutely. And that's where you can build the foundation of, you know, procedures. You know, when you're doing those things, then you can go, oh, okay, this worked. And then that's when that becomes a procedure. If it's something you're repeating and that strategy worked, then just record that somewhere. I mean, I use Trello for all of that, recording all the procedures. And I think it's so helpful. And a lot of people struggle with that. But if you got it right, record it. Don't try reinvent it stage 2. Or, you know, when you have to repeat it next month, record everything that you did. And then you can just, you've already got that. You don't have to get the list. You've done it.
Yep, that's
make
right.
It easier on yourself. Make it easier on yourself.
Yeah, that's right. So definitely, you know, that's a critical element. And I guess the 5th tip in terms of growth is remember to measure your results. You know, making sure that you're measuring all of your results and that you're putting time aside in your calendar to actually do this. Because what happens a lot of the time is people just get busy. So they're working on strategies, they're working on actions, but they're not actually following up to see how they're working, if they're working well, if they're working financially. And that's the one big thing that I often see. People don't actually look at their results from a financial perspective.
And why do you think that is? What do you think is the number one reason? I've got my reason, but I'd love to.
I find that a lot of people don't understand it. I find that a lot of people don't want to understand it. The fear of what the numbers are actually going to really tell them. So they've probably got a gut feeling that things may not be going really well. Yeah. But they want to ignore that. They want to put that aside and they want to just continue, you know, doing what they're doing each day, even though it may not necessarily be working for them or their business.
Yeah. And then that's when personal development comes in. Because you're like, if you weren't fearful of, I mean, knowing your numbers, I think is the biggest like fear for so many people. Because if they think in their head, they've got this number and they go, oh, I've got this number, you might actually find you actually probably earning more than you thought you were earning if you just looked at your numbers. But it's that taking, you know, that gulp and just going, no matter what this is, whatever, you know, results is given. That's only for me. It's like, okay, kids, I like using, you know, like a reference analogy to something. It's like kids and getting their reports. If my kids, and I've got 2 teenagers, if they don't do well in the exams, I don't get upset. I say to them, that's an indication of where you're at. And so that is, then you know that's how much that you know, there's still things you need to learn. But telling you how much, but that's okay. That's what you know.
That's right. And there's an opportunity from there in terms of what you need, what you want to improve. Because for some people, you know, a minimum financial return is all they're after in their business. It's different for everyone. So it really is important that they're looking at that and they're setting themselves financial goals and then measuring those that work for them.
Absolutely. And I think if you're not earning what you want to earn, it's great to know, because that means you can go back, okay, I'm earning, you know, 2,000, I want to earn 5. That's relative to the situation. I need to change. It goes back. You're working up the steps. If you get to your number 5 and you don't like what you get after 1, 2, 3, 4, you have to go back 4, 3, 2, 1 and revisit all of that. And then maybe next month, by the time you get to number 5, and you can measure results. So I think those, actually, I just started thinking this over my head. All the steps you just went through is a plan for success. And if it's not working, you need to go back up to number 1. And that's what we're all doing, aren't we? It's like, okay, I measured this month, it didn't work. I need to maybe pay for more marketing, or maybe it's this. And then what I think for me, my excitement in business starts from looking for the perfect business model. What is that? And that is, at the end of the day, what excites me about business is that business model. What are the jigsaw pieces you need to fit? But then after 2 years, business changes, the market changes, you got to take out a piece and replace it. And that's where change comes in. It's forever changing. It's so exciting.
It is. It's forever changing, and it really is a life cycle. You know, it's something that you might find that you will repeat some things, you'll repurpose some things.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's some things that you won't ever want to go back to, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But ultimately, that's what's going to grow your business. And it's all about also, you know, remaining focused, remaining accountable, but also just really wanting to grow your business. So that going back to the first one being the mindset thing, because if you are telling people you want to grow your business, but you're not out there actively pursuing that, then your business won't grow.
Absolutely. So I'm going to put you on the spot here, and I'm going to ask you something. It's not something you have to answer. It's just a yes or no answer. So those 5 steps, I think, is a beautiful life cycle, actually. And would you mind preparing that list and what we've spoken about for the WBS magazine so I can include it?
Yeah, definitely. That's an easy question.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. I was going to ask you off air, but I thought no, because I wanted to say yes. So I'll ask it now.
No. I would have anyway, definitely.
Because I think that is really good. I want to, I'm just sort of brainstorming now out loud, but it's almost like I'd love to repair it on something that you can laminate. Like I want to do sort of cut it and you stick it in your office. And it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get to 5, didn't work. Go back to number 1 because it is, you know, these are the steps that people like you and I know because that's something that's just we think about all the time. But when you get to number 3, you might go to number 2. You know, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't work. Just start again. And that, you know, that's all it is. And that's brilliant. I love that. Awesome.
Definitely.
All right. I look forward to seeing that in my inbox soon because I'm working on the magazine now.
Yeah. I'll send it through as soon as I can.
Fantastic. Okay, no, that's brilliant. I think that those 5 things are so important and that's brilliant. So in regards to the events that you run, when's your next one?
So I've got a workshop coming up literally next week. So it's only a week away. That's the 22nd of June, which happens to be just a bit of a clash there on I think it's the WBS Baronia date.
Yes, it is.
So it's so difficult setting dates, and that's why, you know, like I've got dates set and then you'll release your WBS dates and I think, oh no, there's another clash.
I know it's hard from my end because I've got so many members sort of around the globe, actually, not Australia. So it's hard with dates to like, you know, this is what works with the host and with this person we'll do it. I mean, Baronia is where are you holding yours? What area?
In Williamstown. So it's still in the west.
Yeah, so, that's no problem. No one's coming from that side anyway because Baronia, let me think. No, there isn't. I think one of our major sponsors might be coming down, but I looked at the list just because I saw the dates. I'm like, oh, they're the same day.
Yeah,
but I think that's fine. So when's your next one after that? How often are you planning on them?
The next one after that will actually, it won't be till probably late August, September. I've got a couple of dates that I'm just working on at the moment. So I'll hope to finalize that in the coming weeks.
Okay.
But what
maybe
I also
send them to me. Send me the dates so
that I can that's probably a good idea.
Because we've got 6 locations now. We're going to have 8, 9 by October. Yeah. So
very exciting.
Lots of dates coming on my backside at the moment. But but anyway, whatever I can do, I will try to make sure that we can work around that.
So that's workshops, and then I've also got another group coaching program kicking off at the end of August as well. So it's going really, really well, and there's a lot of people showing interest. So that's why I thought I'll kick off another group. It's only 5 people in each group, just to keep it, you know, more intimate, more one-on-one to an extent. And
how much are tickets?
So with the group coaching, it's actually a 6-month program. So you pay $660 per month, and you are invoiced monthly, so you pay per month. But if you actually pay upfront, you only pay for 5 months and you get 1 month free.
Okay, and what does that include?
So that includes each month we have a group session where we all come together as a group face to face. Then it includes a one-on-one session each month as well. And then over the 6-month period, there's an additional 3 one-on-one sessions.
Yeah.
So we just sort of, I do those just based on who I'm working with and what their specific needs are. And then obviously, like, some people who are in the group at the moment have already sort of said, oh, can I have some more time with you, and so forth. So, you know, I'm quite flexible in how I work, but that's the basic package.
That's a very good price. Very, very good price.
Is.
I charge
Yeah.
a bit more than that. So that is a very, very good price, especially over the 6 months, because you're looking at, you know, us coaches charging thousands. So, you know, that over 6 months is quite good.
Yeah. To be honest, it's something that I'm doing really just to support sort of local small businesses.
Yeah.
And I thought it's a really good way just to get people, you know, I guess, all focused and accountable. And I've just found, like, I've literally only just started the current group that I've got, and the I guess the results that the individuals have already experienced has been outstanding.
Yeah.
So it just shows us. It also, once you get someone who's truly engaged, that really helps. You know, the person that signs up and really knows that they'll benefit from it, they're the ones that will be, I sort of use that term, your best students.
Absolutely. And I think after being in business for so long, I would tell anyone, go see a business coach. Just go see a business coach. I mean, you can go study, you know, and do business, but I think, you know, you come from the corporate world, you know, business, running your own business, it's just a different world. And when you can sit down with someone who can just just help you along the way and give you strategies, and because there is a lot to learn, and unless you got maybe, you know, a long time to work it out, that's fine. But if you really are starting a business because you want to be moving at a certain level, making a certain amount of income, you need to just invest in that coaching, because you'll get there much faster, you know.
Definitely
much faster, because you got that foundation right.
Yeah, definitely. And I practice what I preach. You know, I have a business coach as well, and I think that's really important. So it's working really well, and the individuals, you know, the main thing for me is just seeing people's success.
Yeah.
So what I love seeing, and love, you know, getting little messages, or whether it's an email or a message via Messenger, just, you know, a little update, or just won this new client, and da-da-da. So it's exciting. It's exciting to see.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me, my morning, your evening. Can you please tell everybody, actually, because I like to keep it real. You know where I'm going with this. Where are you sitting, Katarina, right now?
Right now, I'm in my kids' playroom, surrounded by Lego and all these other toys. I'm sure they've all got names, and I'm sure they're popular toys that I don't even know what the names are. And it's quite funny, because normally my sort of office, it's an open area where I work, and it's upstairs where my girls' bedrooms are. So I thought, no, I don't want to run the risk of potentially waking them up. Yeah. So I decided to lock myself away in their playroom.
A girl's got to do what a girl's got to do.
That's right.
Goodness me. Well, good night. And thank you for sharing all those tips. And I really look forward to putting this one out there. So thank you so much.
And thank you so much for having me.
No problem. I'd love to have you back again. This is a topic that I think you and I could talk about all night. If we had wine, this would be, people talk about babies and boys. We're just talking about business strategies. Gets me so excited. Right. I feel like all revved up now. Now I've got to go work on my man.
I know. Well, you're but you're revved up and you've got the day ahead of you. I should be going to bed, but now I can't.
I know. No, I've got to go and do stuff that requires me to really concentrate, where now I just want to like go hold an event or something. I've just booked myself to do adult ballet.
Oh, wow.
Just because, you know, us entrepreneurs, we work so much and we sort of get a bit, well, especially for me, because I don't go to networking events, remember? I'm quite isolated. I started networking events to everybody else, and then I'm so busy I don't get to go to any. But I will start. So I thought I need like an activity that's like different. I'm like, my son does ballet. Why not? I can do adult ballet. So I've got my my ballet shoes. I just need a tutu when I do my recital.
Wow.
I'm just joking. I'm not doing a recital. I'm not doing this.
Will we see that on a Facebook Live?
Yeah, probably. No, the thing is, you know what? I think as adults, as women, we grow up and everything becomes so serious that I've been trying to reconnect with the things that I loved. You know, even just pre-kids. I've always been to dancing.
Yes.
And you know, going, what did I really enjoy back then? Like ballet. I did ballet as a kid. I'll just reconnect with my inner child, just so I don't, age too quickly.
No, that's fantastic, because you're actually doing something that so many of us want to do and don't have the courage to do, or don't have the time, and we all make excuses. So no.
Well, I got no time to do this, but I thought it's around the corner. It's 45 minutes. It's 9:00 at night. Either I'd be, working at that time, or I don't watch TV. We don't have TV. My lounge room is my office. We've got computer screens, so I'd either be working. So I thought, 9:00 on a Thursday. All the kids have activities every day. I need to have my activity.
Yeah. No,
so that's
right.
mine. So I have no idea who's going to be there. I don't know anyone in my area. I've got lots of friends in the UK, but don't know anyone in Kingston. So I thought I'll meet someone at adult ballet. Maybe as crazy as I am for doing it. Anyway, all right. I'll stop talking.
Enjoy that.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I will speak to you very soon.
Great, thanks.
See ya. So that's it for this episode of the WBS Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. You can find all our episodes on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or by searching for Women's Business Society on any podcast player. If you're a female entrepreneur, head on over to WBSociety.com to find out how you can become a member. Whilst you're there, check out the WBS magazine, which is full of tips to help grow your business. The Women's Business Society promotes, connects and motivates female entrepreneurs. We look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.